Hello guys, today we will discuss with the Dr. Anis Siddiqui about the World Architect Day theme. Let's go and talk to the with Dr. Anis Siddiqui about the World Architect Day.
Alright, today I've been asked by one of my students to say something about the International World Architecture Day. And I think a particular request from that student is addressing the issue of housing for all in the world. I think housing is a major issue not for Pakistan only, for all around the world, because I believe the housing is basically a very dynamic part of architecture, very dynamic part of environmental design systems. Because there is no specific solution, there is no fixed solution, and there is no permanent solution to the issue of housing. Mankind grows, the population grows, their needs grow, the climate change affects their life, their social and economic conditions keep on changing, and that is where the houses become redundant and new housing is required. So housing is a very dynamic issue or a challenge to most architects and planners. That's one thing. Another issue that is usually talked about in terms of the housing is the sustainability issues. Having taught for 50 years, I have come to a conclusion that sustainability is only limited, unfortunately, to very petty issues like energy and economy or materials. Whereas the actual stakeholder in a housing scheme or in a living environment is the human being. And human being is not only an animal of materialism, he has more than materialistic life. And I think the most models that I have used to teach students about sustainability only deal with the major issues of economics and energy and materials resources. Lately, through my own research, I have come out with this issue that social issues like emotions, feelings, cultural matters are more important in sustainability than material or economic issues. Many housing have failed to answer the problem of sustainability. Particularly is the case of Professor Oscar Newman's concept of defensible space, where Brit-Igo project was actually pulled down because it was not really taking care of the emotions and the social and cultural needs of the people, giving rise to crimes and so on and so forth, and that was a failure of the idea of sustainability. So human emotions and human culture and human values are very important part of sustainability. The issue of safety and security, as I mentioned about Professor Oscar Newman's work on defensible space, is paramount in terms of addressing the needs of the housing around the world. Resilience. Now, resilience is again wrongly interpreted as a matter of fact that it only belongs to the building materials or building itself. The resilience should emanate from the occupants, the user of the space, and their training, their cultural affinity, their way of life is a very important part of the resilience of any project. If a project is completely ignoring the cultural and social values of a particular occupant, that project is going to be failing immediately because it's not serving the particular occupant. And finally, I would rather say very briefly, affordability. Affordability is again restricted to cost of construction, and that is not that should not be the case, because cost of construction is one thing, but actually the cost of living or cost of maintaining a particular project is very important. If a project is not maintainable, that is, in other words, not sustainable socially, climatically, culturally, and also materially and economically, then that sustainability will affect the affordability of the housing and it will fail. And that is unfortunately the case that many housing schemes around the world, and in particularly in a country like Pakistan and many other countries like Pakistan, they fail because they don't address the holistic approach, holistic nature of the issue of sustainability and the occupants. And their affordability remains only an economical and material issue. That is one of the dilemma in the third world countries, and that is what I think the designers, the planners, the urban planners, urban designers and architects should address. Thank you very much.